Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Good morning. Good morning. Oh. What is happening, everybody? It's Wednesday. It's 9 a.m. and it's live from Austin, Texas. That's right. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. We're here. We're ready for another show. Me and my man, Joe, we're going to throw it down. We got a great show for you guys today. Great guest. First time I've had to meet this guy, so I'm super excited to get to talk to him. But as always, we're going to kick it off with some weekly wins, I think.
What you got?
You first. You first. You always first. Make me go first.
I normally do. Good morning, everybody. Hope y'all are having an amazing day. Hey, real quick, before we get going, make sure if you're watching from the Insurance Syndicate, click the link in the description just so that we can get your comments up on the show and shout you out. Also, drop your weekly wins in the comments. We want to be able to celebrate with y'all. It is the peak of the week, and we're excited. And again, before we get going, huge shout out to our main sponsor, Viva Virtual Solutions. We appreciate y'all. Appreciate Lily, who runs everything in the back scenes for us and producing the show and our shorts and our TikToks and our YouTube channel for all 6 of the podcasts that we run. But shout out to Rob and shout out to Viva for everything that y'all do for the show. But then also just for really anybody that's needing virtual assistance and trying to elevate their game and ultimately their business. So appreciate you, Viva. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Lily. Weekly win. So my weekly win is I'm actually getting ready to fly to St. Louis tomorrow to go meet my new niece, my brother's first kid, and then my nephew, who is, if you guys know, my wife is one of 11. So her sister just had a son. So going to go meet them. And then also do some, you guys know me, if I'm going anywhere, I'm going to try and do some business while I'm there too. So I'm going to go meet up with my boy, Steve Ludwig. Some of y'all may know Steve.
Yes.
I'm excited.
SR22 man, the Mr. Insurance guy.
Yeah, Mr. Insurance guy. So I'm excited to meet up with him, talk some shop, and just get back to my old stomping grounds. It's
sweet.
It's where I started in insurance, man. So it's always kind of surreal going back to
back to the roots.
Freaking 10 years ago is I started off at Chippewa and Hampton, dude, in a captive Allstate office. And here we are. So that's my weekly win. I fly out at 5 a.m. tomorrow. So you guys won't be missing me at all because I'm going to be on the ground by 7 a.m. So I'll be full online and active tomorrow because of that early flight. But that's my weekly win. I'm excited to go back to St. Louis. If anybody's in St. Louis, I'm there all day Thursday and Friday. If you guys want to get together and network and hang out, talk some shop, I'd love to meet y'all there. So
dude, I go back to my roots and I can't wait to leave again. That's Southeast Houston, Pasadena. Like it stinks, it smells, it's not pretty. Big concrete jungle. Anyway, weekly win. I like that. St. Louis is cool.
St. Louis.
Well, I got a weekly win. For any of the Houston Oilers fans out there, we're adding to the collection. Some dude rolls into my gym. I think we may have talked about this before when we picked up this Nolan Ryan and this Kobe Bryant picture back here. Some dude rolls into my gym and just rolls out a memorabilia silent auction, sports memorabilia. Come do your silent auction, whatever bid. So that's how we got this. Boom. We won the signed Earl Campbell photo to go with the signed jersey that we got. That's awesome. And
y'all know I'm a sucker for this one.
And we picked up boom.
Ooh.
Another Kobe Bryant rookie framed picture.
Holographic
this is
card.
A certified holographic rookie card. What is it? Grade 8 out of 9?
8 out of 9. Excellent mint.
That's fairly strong.
Yep.
So working on our back wall, we won those. I was super happy. We tried to win a David Robinson one.
Yeah.
They
And then
wanted $175 was the opening bid for the David Robinson holographic rookie with the photo framed in the whole 9 yards. And some dude rolled in there and bid $600 on it.
and then didn't buy it.
And then
apparently.
didn't close the deal. What a stooge.
We'll take the
We would have bought it. 100% we would have bought that. So we're winning there. But then I woke up this morning. I have a second weekly win. I'm going to do 2 today. I know we're not supposed to do 2, but I'm doing 2 today. Woke up this morning and saw that Bitcoin was now at $72,000. I don't know if there's any Bitcoin people out there. As a matter of fact, I know there are because I have a bunch of insurance friends that are in the cryptocurrency. And then so I'm like, cool, Bitcoin's up. What else is up? Let me go look through my little coin portfolio. And like, holy smashes, Binance coin has decided to basically triple or almost triple in the last 14 days, which is happens to be a large portion of my crypto portfolio. So it was nice to see a heavy 5-figure jump in the last 48, 72 hours.
Don't ask me about my coins in wallet, dude.
Cryptocurrency is on the rise again.
Apparently, man. Well, that's we'll take the 3x. That's
yes, we will.
That's sick. And again, y'all drop it in the comments. I think I did see some weekly wins in there. Let me scroll through those.
Yeah,
before
put
we
them
bring
in
on
there.
our guest.
What coin? I mean, if you got crypto coins, what do you have? I'm curious.
So many. I've been getting a lot of new referrals lately. I have 80 books sold so far. Shout out to you, Aaron. And I've been asked to be an author in another book to be released this summer. Let's freaking go, Aaron. Come on. Shout out to you. That's y'all selling like books, right?
That's next level.
It's a little bit more difficult than selling insurance, really any other product, right? Pushing a book over 80 copies sold, and I think you just released it not even a couple weeks ago. Shout out to you, Aaron. That's awesome. Shout out to Brian Moore. I see you here in the comments, man. Thank you for being on. And again, shout out to all of our loyal listeners. Hey, Christy, how are you? I see your comment there. We're excited to get going. We've got an action-packed show for y'all. I've had the pleasure of knowing this gentleman now for actually a little bit over a year. We had connected, and we're talking some shop about actually starting up an agent hangout down in Florida. And that was about a year or so ago. And just what he does within his community and how he supports other professionals. And he's got just really an amazing story. I was reading through his full bio yesterday. I was like, bro, I did not know this about you. So I'm excited to bring him on. So without further ado, y'all, let's give a nice warm welcome to my brother, Mr. Rob Bullerdick. What's up, brother?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Fantastic, man. How are you?
Dude, another day in paradise. Blessed to be alive. No complaints. And happy to be hanging with y'all.
Excellent.
Sure.
Well, certainly happy to have you on. Where are you located at again?
So I'm born and raised Sarasota, Florida, but I'm now just about an hour south in Fort Myers.
Okay.
So we're the town that Hurricane Ian hit for any PNC people in Florida pretty hard, and still looks the same out on the beach and everywhere else. So still cleaning up from that, but
yeah,
beautiful 80-degree days lately. No complaints. Love it down here.
Nice. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on to join us. I appreciate definitely you coming to the group, bringing some value and having some fun with us. Take just a short moment, right? Kind of introduce yourself to the group. We got about 7,500 agents in here of all different lines. So feel free to just tell them who Rob Bullerdick is, kind of what you're about and what you're up to.
Yep. So Rob Bullerdick, again, that is my real last name. Super inappropriate. A lot of my emails go to spam, so the struggle is real. But I am the CEO of Bullerdick Financial Group. We're an integrity company. We cover every range of products from the health and life side all the way to retirement, assets under management, you name it. And actually recently PNC, thanks to Mr. Joe over here. It's been awesome getting to know you and your crew, man. But I also recently got into the lead endeavors as well, help run Agent Launch, which we focus on high ticket annuities, IULs, be your own banker sales for agents, booked appointments, and that's been thriving last year. So that's been fun. And besides that, like Joe, you mentioned, just being involved in the community, teaching at a lot of the colleges in the area, classes, helping them with business and strategies. And
where are you going after this? But you have something after this podcast too, I think I saw.
Yeah, I got 2 things. I'll be going right to Florida Gulf Coast University, which that's becoming quite the college now, especially in basketball. Go Eagles. And so I'll be teaching a business class there. Then I go to a high school to do a little career fair and talk with the 18-year-olds about maybe starting a book of business instead of going in college debt. So,
dude, that's freaking a career fair, huh?
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'd never done that before. I signed up for it because a bunch of people were bugging me about it, but I've been busy. So I figured one of my hundreds of agents would hop on it. None of them did. So I get the blessing.
Looks like I'm doing it.
Yeah. But I'm excited for it. I haven't hung out, in that kind of capacity in a high school or with high school kids and teaching them in years. So it's going to be a good time. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you get introduced to that, or how did you sign up for that, as you said?
Honestly, through Facebook. Someone just messaged me. It was a friend of a friend kind of deal, and just said, "Hey, I've seen your content. I like what you're putting out there. I think you'd be a good resource for the students or career fair. Are you down to do this?" I mean, hard to say no to that, even though I try to pawn it off on someone else. But it's yeah, like I said, anything I can do to help the next generation, thrive. I'm all for it.
If that ain't the reoccurring theme that I'm getting from you and your backstory, and I want to start there before we even, created Bullerdick Financial Group and everything that you guys are doing, the lead gen, giving back to the youth, which actually I think is, we'll come back to that, because just the teaching piece, like going and teaching a business class at a college, right? That is not a small school by any means. Florida Gulf Coast is that's a big school, bro. So kudos to you on that. But take us back. I want to hear it. I want people to hear your story. I want you to share that, because it's crazy powerful. And I think, it's probably a big testament to why you have found success in the space that you have. We're in a relationship business. We have to be able to connect with our clients, right? That more of emotional sale on that life, health, finance side of things versus P&C, which is definitely more commoditized, right? And I hate to say it, but yeah, I'm illegal not to have, y'all. Sorry. A little bit different on the financial side of things, right? So, but take us back, dude. Who was Rob before insurance? Go through some of that story, man, and I'd love to pick that apart some.
Yeah. I mean, it honestly started when I was young. Like, I was that guy who loved school for the social aspect of things and hanging out with friends. I was a great class clown. I was great at getting in trouble, not paying attention, but always hated the book reports, study, which everyone does, but I just didn't do it. That wasn't my thing. So I was like a DC student pretty much my whole life. Fell in love with football, did real good in high school, started getting recruits from University of Michigan. Then I decided, all right, time to buckle down on school a little more, because they actually care about GPA. You can't just be a dumb football player at that school. But then some injuries took me out of that. I had to stop playing sports. And through the injuries and trying to find out what I wanted to do, because I knew I wasn't going to go to a great university with my GPA, I've always been people first kind of guy, even again at a young age. So I got into ministry and became a pastor at a Methodist church, did that for years, and did the youth ministry as well. Grew that to about 200 students when it was only 12 for a lot of years. And in Sarasota, if y'all aren't familiar, it's a pretty wealthy town, but it's also very old. We kind of say that's where everyone goes to retire. And so it's hard to really get the youth involved in a town like that. And had the opportunity to lead some mission trips over in Nicaragua. And that's where I spent a lot of years, did about a year and a half living there, just being in the trenches with the families. There's an area called Tipitapa, which is basically the dump. And a lot of these families are generational in the dump, and they make their money by just picking out recyclables, right? And $1 a day if they're lucky, and just picking through trash. And one thing I saw there that just wrecked me to this day is you see the sex trafficking very loud and vivid, because what families will do, what people don't realize is the dads would say, hey, to the trash man, if you dump your trash closer to my home so I get first dibs at it, you can have my kid for a few nights. And you're just seeing kids hanging on the back of garbage trucks going back and forth. And of course you want to get involved and do something, but of course everyone's like, no, you're going to get this family in trouble. She'll never come back. This is how the system is. So I was like, screw that. That's not how it should be. So fast forward a couple months from me being there, a lot of churches would come and bring youth groups for mission trips, and I'd help lead those. And just had one of those campfire talks with one of the guys. And he was like, what's your dreams, Rob? What do you want to do? And I was like, honestly, I fell in love with this culture. I feel like I can do more for this culture, but I'm being fed love donations. I'm basically I'm able to live, and that's it. I have no savings, no checking, no retirement. If I want to get married one day, how does that even happen? And you kind of get to a point too where you realize if you want to make more of a tangible difference in their life, it's going to take money to do so. And I'd rather be the one to make that money and do it than trying to go around and ask people for their money. That just has never been my personality. And he's like, you ever thought about doing insurance? Hell no. Who grew up wanting to do insurance? And maybe Joe, because you've been around it your whole life. Your dad did it. So that makes sense. So people in that capacity. But besides that, I knew about auto insurance when I got my first car, and that was it. And he was P&C. So I kind of felt that pull, like, okay, this feels right. This feels good. This guy I trust. So ended up leaving the ministry, and that was in about 2010, and started in property and casualty, was a CSR first. Then I got my license, and realized pretty quick that I'm doing all the work, doing all the networking, building his book of business. He's never around. He's making all this money. And I was like, I was captive. And I was like, shoot, like this isn't what I want. So I decided to go the independent route, did that for a little bit. And I was kind of the go-to guy in the area for quotes. If they gave me a quote that day, it was getting done. If they needed a binder that day, it was getting bound. But then, as you know, deck pages need to change all the time. And I was a one-man show. I didn't have any support because he had all the support from the paid employees. And I just got burnt out from it and left. Then I got into the health side of things and under 65 health, got my life and health license shortly after. And it was kind of the same deal of I wanted to write business and just grow the book, but it was always just phone calls of, hey, I lost my ID card. Hey, no medications recovered. Hey, this sucks. Hey, you suck. I'm like, this sucks. You know, was about to leave the industry altogether. Then I met my leader now, and he was like, dude, life and retirement's a whole different ball game. I think you'd crush it. It's more just really helping people out in a different capacity without all the servicing involved. So I've been doing that for about 10 years now and have loved it and grown a big team. And we got
how many agents you got on your team now?
About 312.
Wow.
Exactly.
312, bro.
Those are all direct producers working with you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Nice.
So, well, real quick though, because you didn't even freaking bring it up, and I wanted you to bring it up, dude. When the hell were you a bull rider, dude?
Oh, okay, yeah. So in high school, I don't know if it's still a thing now, but
fancy name.
Yeah.
So I got two older sisters, and we grew up on Siesta Key, which is a pretty bougie part of town. And my two older sisters, I'm the youngest. You know, they're like the blonde hair, Beverly Hills. So my dad is always a redneck guy. My mom's not. So he told her, "You get the daughters, I got the boy." So I grew up hunting, fishing. His best friend's a farmer, which is how that connection happened. And I always just wanted to work on the farm when I got old enough. And my junior year of high school, OJT rolled around, where that's basically on the job training to where you can work a job, but get school credits for it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I hated school. So I was like, hell yeah, sign me up. So for my junior year, senior year, I would just leave school after 2 classes in the morning and go work on the farm. It was a Black Angus cattle ranch, largest in Florida. And when we were done cowboying, we'd like to have fun. So we'd, ride around horses, drink beers, do all that stuff, but also ride some bulls and have our fun. So I did amateur bull riding, nothing crazy, no PBR TV stuff or anything like that, but a lot of just local events and fairs and all that I do. So it was the best life. It really was. I loved it. And sometimes I wish I can go back to it.
Like Yellowstone at all? Or like you're like,
was
that
there
TV,
a train station?
That TV show is
into?
bullshit.
Yeah. The long black train right at the Wyoming line. Yeah. No, we weren't that crazy, but it was just fun again, because I was always been an authentic guy. What you see is what you get. The hat I wear at work and home and friends and life is the same hat I always wear. And that's always kind of been that like farming culture as well with the, roughneck dude. So that's still my best friends. I still get out there as much as I can. It's turkey season now. So I've gone turkey hunting out there a couple of times already. Yeah. But that's where
back to some of those guys and explain the dire need for life insurance compared to what they do.
Yeah, a couple of them have it, and a couple of them are
no bull riders. Can they get life insurance? I would assume they can, right? At some level.
It all depends on the kind of plan and policy. There's so many carriers now, and different guidelines, but a couple of them definitely have it because they got families. But the dudes that still have no kids or anything and are still set in their ways, they, life insurance. Yeah. I don't need that shit.
Yeah, it's health insurance, but life insurance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
health insurance, retirement.
I want to ask you a question, and I didn't know if you're going to bring this up, so I think you were going to, or at least I think I potentially saw it in your notes from yesterday. Obviously, you're in the life and health space, right? And now you're definitely a proponent of wellness, right? Not to say that you still have the balance, right? I saw your post yesterday, but talk about that journey for you physically, because I know that you have this kind of fitness journey that really has changed your entire life and ultimately probably has insanely benefited your business. Can you walk us through some of that and what that journey is?
Yeah. So when I was playing football, I was a pulling offensive guard. So I was a bigger dude. At the time, I was probably about 260 pounds, which a lot of it was muscle, of course. But when I couldn't play football anymore and I got injured, I kind of hit a depressive stage where I really turned to toxic people, toxic habits. A lot of that, just nothing, wrong with marijuana, but was heavily on that, eating the munchies, drinking McDonald's 2 a.m. almost every night with the boys. And then I got to about 320 pounds at my heaviest.
Wow.
And I remember I was at SeaWorld with my family that came in town from Michigan. And it was one of those like moments I had because they're trying to put the damn roller coaster thing on me. Couldn't tighten it at all. And 3 people came around like, push, let's get this shit going. And was not happening. So I'm just sitting there like looking around, all eyes on you. I was like, this sucks. I didn't realize I was this freaking big, this unhealthy. And that kind of took me to the long journey of I need to look in the mirror and have an honest conversation and say, like, where am I at? Because even today, like, it's hard to have that honest conversation with yourself, right? And see, okay, like, let's take inventory about what's really going on. Let's peel back the layers of my life to like the nucleus of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I felt my worth wasn't as much as I wanted to be because I had all these plans to play football and that wasn't happening. My relationships with, women weren't that great because obviously I was a slob and you can't take care of yourself. I didn't take care of others. Right. So I just had to look deep within and say, okay, like this is where I'm at. This is where I'm feeling. It's okay to feel those things because it's just the reality of where I am. And just took that, head on just to make myself better and really have like 3 pillars of mind, body, soul that to this day, I still like wake up. I'm like, all right, mind, body, soul, like, let's check this off. Where am I at? So I do my flow states in the morning, do my positive affirmations, do my yoga, like all these things. It's like a daily routine from then till now, because I know that's where I need to make myself centered and in the right place so that I can be good for, the people in my life. So that way they're not attaching on to these bad habits and I'm not speaking out, negative things.
Yep.
So it's the health journey has really gone hand in hand with the wealth journey and growing a business because there's so many principles that are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I remember trying to lose weight. You had all these diets and fads, Atkins, whatever, cut out sugar, carbs, this and that. And I tried it all. Try this pill or do this kind of thing. And nothing really worked. And then I kind of like really, again, dug into like the science behind it all. And I'm like, if your dog needs to lose weight, you feed it less, walk it more. That's it. Not much to it. So like I'm a freaking dog. I just need to freaking eat less. It's calories in versus calories out and just work some more. And I made it that simple. So I started tracking calories, eating the same shit I like to eat. So that way it wasn't like chicken and broccoli and not fun. Like I literally ate pizza, tacos, had my donuts. But I tracked my calories to make sure I was staying under a certain amount. Right. And I think with business, it's the same way of we like to complicate it. And, agents try to find these new shiny object, this new system. What's this website and this color scheme I need to do this and that. And it's like, no, it's just activity. Like it's IPAs, income producing activity. You don't need all these things. Just do the do. Like Chase McAllister says, call your freaking leads. Right.
Yeah.
Activity outworks brains all day, every day. And I'm a stupid redneck farmer who was given a chance, right? So if I can do it, anyone can do it. And it's just making that decision to like diet 80-20, 80% of your day and brain focus go towards that goal. And 20% should be, having that downtime to build whatever strategies you want to. But I think a lot of people live in the 20-80 where they call their lead one time. They do the bare minimum. They kind of sit back and wait.
These leads suck.
Yeah, the leads suck. Where 80% of their day is just, gawking about it or going out, hanging out with friends or looking on YouTube or watching Netflix. And that kind of goes back to the honest conversation with yourself of, am I the issue here? Or is it these leads, right? Or is it this system? And if you can be honest, typically it's no, I could work harder. I could put more hours towards this, but I'm not.
Right. Extremely difficult to do. And I know that from experience because I've done it many times. I do it probably every day at this point, just looking at myself going, damn, you could definitely do more. And here's why. and then executing on those shortcomings that you have. You got to find the gaps in your game and be honest about them. There's so many areas I can point to that I've used that to help me improve and continue to use it. But to your point, just again, extremely difficult. I wanted to comment, actually, you mentioned that everybody's looking for, and I'm not probably using your exact words, but basically the shortcut, right? Everybody wants the magic secret to lose weight or to achieve success in their business, right? What's the secret code? What's the shortcut? And it's never that. It's always the activity. It's always the work.
Yep.
I love that you broke it down to an 80-20 rule, but it's as soon as you said it, it struck me because that's been represented in my world often recently. I'm doing a 75-day challenge. And part of the challenge is you have to take a photo every day. I'm not taking, because I'm kind of conservative and modest, I'm not taking a half naked photo to show people my progress. I could care less. All I've done is I've taken a photo that, hey, I'm getting ready to go work out, kind of an accountability thing. And I generally take a picture of me drinking this very healthy green juice. It's just green juice. There's nothing fancy. There's no tricks in it. There's no Ozempic in there. There's nothing in it. It's just fresh green juice. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because I got more comments from people going, wow, you look amazing. What's the secret in the green juice that I need to get so that I can look amazing? Not, hey, what's the work that you're putting in? Oh, well, this is the work I'm doing. I'm doing 30 minutes of hard cardio on an elliptical at level 20 almost. I'm doing 150 ab reps a day, and I'm lifting weights 4 times a week. They're like, oh, yeah, fuck that shit. I want the green juice.
What's in the green juice?
Yeah. And we're so wired, I think, to find those shortcuts, right? Because I think by human nature, we want to survive, right? That's our first instinct. But we're spiritual beings at the end of the day, right? Like,
yes.
Our life, like I said, that's why I do mind, body, soul. It's not just about making money. It's not just about one or the other. Like if you're not all in check with all 3 of those, everything kind of falls apart. Right. So yeah, same thing with me. Like people would ask, what's the thing you're doing? It's like, it's a multitude of things compounding on each other.
Yep.
It's going to take work, but yeah, I don't know what it is, but a lot of people just don't like to take that hard work and change what they're doing because it's comfortable, right? It's that survival mindset. Be comfortable. Don't go outside your comfort zone. If I can drink a green juice, I can do that, but that's not what's changing you. As you know, like you're working your fucking ass off.
Right.
And you look great too, by the way.
Thing, right? That comfort zone of work, right? When you get into that pattern, that's an instinctual behavior, right? Because it's something we learned a long time ago. You go there to get the food, you come back here for safety. You go there to get the food, you come back here for safety. And that's how it works. And that's comfortable. If I go outside of that zone, I get killed. Something happens to me. Now, obviously, we live in a wholly different society, but that instinct is still in our reptilian brain. So we get comfortable in ruts. We're like, this is where safety exists. This is how I keep everything running at the right way, for lack of a better vernacular at the moment.
Yep.
But growth, as we know now, especially in today's society, and even back then, right? The only way we would have ever escaped that pattern of running from the cave to the field to get food and going back and forth was if somebody had the balls to step outside and grow. So same concept exists now. We have to learn to get outside of that comfort rut and grow and be willing to get our nose bloodied a little bit. And then we can go back to the cave and get it cleaned up and then go back out.
David Goggins says it best, right? If it feels uncomfortable, it's probably the right place to go.
Probably the right. Great point.
Push into the uncomfort. One point I had too on what you were saying earlier, where it's, guys like me, Rob, and Tony, like we ain't anything crazy special, right? We don't have the brains of a freaking scientist or anything, right? It's just, but the one quote that came to mind was hard work beats talent when talent don't work, right? And if you're willing to put in that hard work, man, it don't matter who you're going up against, as long as you're working more, right? It's that 1% better every single day. You will eventually outwork the talent, right? So hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. But then we are talking about systems and processes, right? Which obviously when you have over 300 freaking agents on your team, bro. And I love that you said team too and not downline. I think that says something about you, because a lot of people that are the uplines will just treat them like downlines. You said, hey, this is my team, right? These are my people. Like, hell, I created a lead gen system really to the benefit of my team, right? And now that's probably gone a little bit further, or maybe not. But talk about your business model, because I think, you've niched down. You found kind of just that space where you operate in. It's where, honestly, it makes a lot of sense for me to be involved on the property and casualty side of because of who you work with, right? So break down just what is Bullerdick Financial Group? What do you guys do? Like, what is the model behind that? The referrals, the relationships, like break all that down, because I think it's really good. And so many people, they try to run in 1,000 different lanes. We talk about this, and I know I'm sometimes at fault for this, right? Because I do sometimes wear 1,000 hats, and I like to run in 1,000 different lanes. And it's like, hold on, Joe, like slow down, dude, slow down. And Tony's whole thing is, man, long obedience in one direction, right? And I think again, when you find that space, that niche that you found, right, it's like, okay, now let's stay long obedient in this direction. I'm not necessarily getting into PNC and doing all that myself. You have referral relationships for that now, right? Set up. What is the business model? How did it even come to mind of like, man, these are the people that I want to work with and sell to? Break all that down, because I think it's really good.
Yeah. I mean, it really goes back to being authentic and being yourself, right? Because I believe when you don't have any other agenda and you just are living your best self, you attract like to you, right? And people naturally just want to work with you and be around you. And for me, being in the PNC space for so long and being involved in the Chamber of Commerce's locally and all the events, like I am a people person through and through. So any event that's around locally, like I want to talk to you. And usually it's not even about business, but then it turns into, hey, what do you do? Because we're having such a good conversation. And it kind of goes back to, again, another campfire. Fine. I do a lot of bonfires, bonfire talk with a couple of realtors and lenders. And it was just after COVID. And they're just like, that's when the industry changed a lot in the market for realtors. And where it used to be 5 to 8 closings a month, a lot of times now it's 1 to 2, like they're struggling. And they're just asking me like, Rob, what are you guys doing different where I see you thriving, growing, but we're struggling? Like, can we figure something out? So I started asking questions, right? Just trying to see like, well, let's figure this out. And mortgage protection was something that finally just came out. And I was like, do you know anything about this? And he said, no. And the realtor and the lender. And I had them call a couple of their buddies as well while we were out there and said, hey, do we do this? Do you know this? And they go, I have no idea. So then my brain was kind of like, okay, we got something going on here. When y'all sell a home, whether you know it or not, this family gets a postcard in the mail from typically a term company for mortgage protection, and it actually pays pretty well. And you could get an extra couple $1,000s per sale, depending on what you do. And I'm the least product driven person in the world. I hate products. I'm all about the discovery period for the family. So I basically told them, with our system, what I have here, you can really, after each closing, set them back up to come back and talk to you. So that way their home's protected. And they might be a family of entrepreneurs that don't have retirement set up yet. So maybe it's an extra universal life policy or a whole life with cash value that also has a death benefit. Because at the end of the day, they're just marketing terms, right? Like mortgage protection is just amount to cover the mortgage, final expense, amount to cover the final expense. It doesn't matter what the product is, as long as it gets that need. So basically what I've been helping realtors and lenders do across the nation is you've got the relationships with this family. Like you've walked house to house, family to family, their kids, they know you, like it's a tight relationship, but then you're passing them on to some Joe Schmo who doesn't give a rat's ass about them, that just wants a transaction out of them. And they need this product, they want it, but they already trust you. So don't miss this opportunity to get that income yourself. And as a realtor, you can partner with a bunch of lenders in the area, say, hey, a part of every closing process for you, even if it's not my transaction, set me up to work with them and I'll give you a cut, right, of the sale. We can work something out. And the beauty too in their world is you have to license in every state you want to do business in, right? You have to retest. In our world, you can buy the damn state you want to do.
Right.
So it's kind of building that vision for them too, is like, hey, if you go to Arizona for vacation for a couple of weeks, or you go anywhere, you can buy a license, run some leads there if you want to, or make connections and still get paid, and kind of do both. So the light clicked for a lot of people because it just made sense. It's not really changing what they're doing, but adding to their tool belt. Like you've got the hammer, you got the nails, add the tape measure, like just go one extra level. Don't stop being a realtor badass. Don't stop doing loans. Do what you're doing, but it's changed the process a little bit to, again, set it up in the beginning. When we close on this home, we're going to meet back here next week, this time, this day. We're going to help you even more. And that's really what's been helping us thrive. It's just finding a need for someone else and helping them out.
Now, in that situation, would that be where, hey, I'm going to go, like you personally are going to go and accompany that lender or that realtor in that follow-up meeting? Or is it, hey, because they are licensed and doing their thing? Or is it kind of one or the other? Like, hey, they know what they're doing now, so I just let them run that own follow-up appointment? Or is that something where you're coming in with a more consultative approach?
It's both for sure. So it all depends on the person. Again, I got agents all over. So a lot of times it's a Zoom the first couple of times, like, hey, there's not much to it. Here's the questions to ask. I can be a part of this with you. Like my full-time job now pretty much is just being on call for my agents, unless I'm doing like a speaking event. So whenever they need me, have questions, I'm always available. If I don't answer, I'm answering, 2 minutes later. So some of them need their handheld a little more, which is fine. That's what I'm there for. And I help them go there. But some I can kind of go over things for an hour or a day or two, and then they click and kind of get the process because it's not that hard.
Sure.
Now,
so
do you try to uncover all the money in that follow-up appointment? Or is that more of a, hey, let's get something in the household? And then you have kind of a drip campaign of, hey, let's keep asking more discovery questions to see, hey, maybe there is a chance for, again, IUL or annuity or like the things that you're doing on the lead gen side.
Yeah.
What all is that? I guess I know what the meeting is, right? You're helping them further. How deep do you go on that follow-up meeting?
We try to go as deep as possible off the top because they've already given most of that info out anyways for the house closing, right? So we have what's called a green sheet where we're getting their basic info and then we're asking them. It's kind of like if you go to the doctor, right? If you go to the doctor, you got to get a physical. The doctor's not like, hey, if it's okay, do you mind if you like take your pants off and like cough a little bit? Like, no worries if not. Like that'd be awkward. But no, they're like, hey, take your shirt off, be back in 2 minutes, right? Like you just do it. So when you become the expert and authority and just ask what you need to ask, people just give you that info and you're looking out for them at the end of the day anyways. So we get what's in their 401k, any CDs, what's in the IRA, what's in your savings checking. Because again, we've seen families that have literally millions in their savings. And it's like, why? What's it doing in there? Where else do I put it? I want it to lose in the market. All right, well, let's put an annuity all day then. You're going to guarantee growth, no losses. You're not touching it anyways, no brainer. So you're helping them out more. And now the agent just got a hell of a lot bigger sale too. So it's a win-win across the board. And that's why I love the discovery period, because without doing that, how do you know, right? Like you didn't help them as much as you could have. It's not about the sale. It's about helping that family out, but you don't know how to help them unless you know how to help them, right? So some people will say no, of course, like I don't want to give you all that. And that's on them. That's fine. We'll just get you the amount for the mortgage and be done. Right. And, you want this down the road, here we are. But a lot of times, I mean, people are fine giving that info because, again, they trust, who they're working with. They know that realtor. They know that lender at this point. And they already have that info anyways, for the most part.
Yep.
So are you teaching that entire process to each individual realtor and they're running that on their own?
Yeah, I mean, now I've kind of streamlined it to where I have like a recording and a video where I'm kind of going over things and I'll send that to them. But we have about 4 calls a week, team calls and weekly calls and product calls. We try to keep camaraderie as tight as possible just to keep everyone on the same page. And again, as much help as anyone needs. I've got a team too in an office in Raleigh where people are always on the call 24/7 and there to help them out. So it's
that's what I was wondering, maybe how much of that was a service team that you had doing back office work for them or not.
Yeah, it's we got two guys now that are on the service team just because, again, I can't be everywhere at once and I don't want someone just to wait on Rob, right?
Right.
Get done with the meeting or whatever. That's just, I can't be everywhere at once. So I have had to bring guys on, but it's simple in nature, as y'all know. It's just, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but once they kind of hear it and see it once or twice, unless it's like a structured IUL, that's a little more involved. But other than that, they catch up pretty quick.
I got 2 questions for you. The first one, though, is you talked about really ultimately it was culture, right? You're talking about the camaraderie, which is that's the culture, right? You know me. I mean, we've got over 100 agents all spread out across the country, right? You've got freaking over 300 all spread out across the country. What are 2 to 3 things that you're doing, right? Maybe it is that, hey, dude, we're doing 4 weekly calls, right? We're definitely not doing 4 weekly calls. I have more calls than that, but not like group calls with everybody, right? And if we are, it's typically carrier training or something like that. What are 2 to 3 things that you've implemented within, we'll just say within Bullerdick Financial Group that has allowed that camaraderie to grow as you've grown? Because I think that's also what some people don't realize is that as you grow, right, it's like, hey, my time and what I had when I had literally 3 people is a little bit different than 100 plus, right? What are 2 to 3 things that you're doing to maintain that culture within what you're doing?
Yeah, I think it's just being involved as much as possible. So like throughout my week, I will literally touch on everyone and give them a call just to say, how are you doing? What's going on? Like it's a lot of freaking phone calls, but again, this is the relationship people industry. And I think a lot of people get burned in any industry when it comes to, building your team as you get left on an island. You're seen as just a monetization value, right? Just you're there to make me money. And I always want them to know it's not the case. Like I am here for you to grow your income for your family. And if they have guys that want to bring on their own team, like I will fly out there, do a meeting, share what we're doing. So that way it's more face-to-face and I'm helping them grow their team. Right. So a lot of it's just implementation of showing them that you care, being involved in their life, not even work stuff, but like, hey, how's your heart doing? How's your family doing? Just want to check in on you. That goes such a long ways. It does for me. And people do that to me. I love it. Right. Like, thanks for caring.
Yes.
And then it's just having, I think the calls are a big thing. It's having an avenue for them to have camaraderie, to have community, because a lot of people want community. We're created for community as humans, but a lot of folks don't have it, especially in the sales world. So having a space where they can hop on Zoom and see faces and just share their wins like we're doing now, or ask questions has been a huge, huge piece of it. And every call we do is different as well. Like we have a product call one week, and we have a team call. So like they are different. So I just make sure that we're kind of filling the whole spectrum of what their needs are, right? From mindset to product to just wins to team camaraderie.
Yep.
And and besides that, I think the biggest thing is just finding a need, because there's always a need out there. There's always a hurting industry. So it's like, what can I do to help them win? Right. And when you do that, I think it just catches on, whether it's the law of attraction, the law of diminishing returns, whatever it is. But when you truly have a heart to help make a difference, like, things supernaturally just been taken off for me, for their teams. And the whole nucleus of everything is just giving a shit, like truly giving a shit, not just saying it, but like showing it.
Right.
And that really is everything bundled into one thing. It's just caring for that human being.
Yep.
100%, man. That's beautiful. I mean, Zig Ziglar said that a long time ago in the sales industry. He's like, if you help enough people get what they want, you will always get yours. Right. Yeah. And then it's ultimately just a result of fashioning your business activity by the golden rule, right? Making sure that you're treating other people how you would want to be treated. But I'm curious, are you actively recruiting real estate agents now into this program? How, just curious, if you don't mind sharing, how do you locate them? How do you find?
That was literally my question.
Are you just running ads and letting them respond to it? Hey, make some extra income. Having trouble selling 10 houses a month? Like, come on, let me get a piece of cheddar, bro.
Yeah. So now it's been a lot of kind of word of mouth has done a lot of it lately. But I will say, to start off, it's been me just showing up just as many real estate offices as I can with donuts or food, and just like, hey, here's who I am. Just want to meet y'all. And it took time. Like it took probably 2 years to finally hit like the pinnacle, right? Because I'm not that sales guy that's like, hey, because one thing I hated in PNC and why I wanted to do my own thing in the life and health space was when I was captive working the 9 to 5, I had to wear like a suit, couldn't wear a hat. Like I was not Rob. And I couldn't connect the way I wanted to. And you get guys that shake your hand, give them a business card, and walk away. Like so transactional. Like that's not what it's about. So I take the long game with anything. It's really, again, get to know the person. Just get lunch, right? Here's some donuts. I'm going to check back in next week. Hey, here's some more, right? And then eventually it's like, hey, we got a lunch and learn coming up. Do you want to be a speaker for it? I'd love to. So you start to build that. And then my talks would be about, health insurance or growing their retirement. It kind of changed to, hey, here's how I'm helping you guys grow your income more. And it's not that scary, not that hard. It's an easy license. You can get it pretty quick, and this is how it fits alongside you. So it's kind of like an evolving process over time. But I think that was the magic of it, because it wasn't just a guy running in, hey guys, you want to make a bunch of money? Come join me. It's just easy. Like, hey, we already know you and like you, Rob. Now we believe what you're sharing, and we can tell you want to help us. So yes, we're in. And now when I kind of reach out or email or call people or the office, they kind of have heard of me, or they look me up and they're like, okay, I can see what you're doing. This makes sense. But it's a long game, if that makes sense, of how it kind of started. And now I do ads as well. I'm big on ClickFunnels and all that kind of stuff towards that niche. And that's the thing.
I want to take the tail end of this call because I don't want to keep you too long because I know you got to go teach a business course at a university. So I'm not doing any of that. I am training anyway, but I ain't going to speak at a university. The lead gen side, what prompted that, right? Because we talk about the shiny object a lot. And there's a lot of people that are like, oh man, like I want to go create my own leads, man, and then sell them. And like, I'll talk a little bit about what prompted that. And really just kind of what you guys are doing on that side of, is that something that's, hey, this is when you come join my team, that's a value add, is that I have internal leads? Or is it, hey, it started that way. And then now I have the ability because of how much has come in, we figured it out. I'm selling them now. What prompted you to get into that space? And I guess really just what is Agent Launchpad? I think you said it was.
Agent Launch, yep.
Break some of that down.
It really, I mean, as we know, leads are the lifeblood of your business, of your industry. Like, yes, you should be out there in person and doing more market and organic, but for a lot of people, that's not them yet, right? Or that takes time. So I burned about $30,000 in shitty lead systems that didn't work, didn't have any results at all, like tried them all. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, there's got to be a better way. And I'm talking about big ones that are super well known that just didn't work. And I gave months into it, no return, and came across this guy, I guess I'll say his name, Charlie, who brilliant marketer mind. He was a sales rep for one of them. And he was like, dude, I think we could actually put something together that'll give agents real results that isn't going to be super expensive. It's going to be low, mid ticket, make it doable, and just kind of blow this thing up and turn it upside down. And he was a sales rep again for one of the guys, and he kind of caught on that no one was getting wins except for like one person. So he felt that integrity should not be a part of it. Yeah, exactly. And so he was like, let's try something else. So it was mostly him, but we just found let's spend the money and test ads, see what works, what doesn't work. Let's build these landing pages, get it rolling. And what we've done is basically when the agents come on, they choose what vertical they want to do, whether it's be your own banker, annuities, TSP rollovers. We don't do anything small ticket like final expense, mortgage protection. That's all been there, done that. It's hard to sound different with that and look different. But we found the high ticket stuff, that's really a niche that we nailed, and we're getting those awesome, strong appointments. So it's just, someone comes on, you choose your vertical. It's all built for you. The workflows for the whole year, ringless voicemails, text, emails, giving value. It's not just like, hey, give me a call. Where are you at? It's like, if it's on retirement, hey, did you know this about retirement? ... Just give them more info. Click here to call. And we got AI now booking appointments and having conversations for them if they can't call the leads right away. So we really just took a lot of time and money to get it working so we can guarantee results. Like, it's not just hey, we're going to run this campaign, or you got to build it yourself or figure out the ad copy yourself and hope it works. It's like, no, here's the ad copy, here's the image, plug it in. And we've been getting, as you know, it's really good, like $4 to $8 a lead because it's so optimized and works so well.
Wow. Damn. And the return on that's probably amazing.
Yeah, it's been great. And we started it off again, super low ticket. At first, it was just $500 a month, which we ate a lot of that because I've been there. We've both been there. And we're like, people need to trust us and know this works. So let's make it too good to be true. Get a bunch of people on, and started taking off, people getting results. So now we had to up it a little bit. Now it's a $3,000 buy-in and $200 a month, which is still way lower than anything else is out there when guarantee results. And my team gets it for free. They're on a round robin kind of system to where when leads come in, it's going to each kind of different person.
Yep.
But it's also open to anyone as well.
And these are all Facebook ads? Or are you doing both Facebook, Google, anything else, or is it all Facebook?
Just Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook ads to Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. But again, it's just, like you said, just advanced market. So IUL, annuities, be your own banker. That's it.
Are you using landing pages or Instaform or both?
It's all built off Go High Level, and it's just landing pages pretty much. So we have two systems we kind of tested. At first, it was kind of get instant form, get their info, have them right there as a lead right away to get bulk. But some people were complaining about that. Everyone wants a shiny object. So we kind of gave now more of a booked call system to where it's kind of right to the landing page, making sure they put the information in the quiz, filling out all that stuff to be a booked call. So we've definitely evolved over time to kind of go from getting masses, which I still believe in getting a bunch of leads, even at high ticket, and as you know, calling through them. But we've also niched down and said, if you want more booked appointments, doesn't mean they're going to convert, but you want to make you happy, here you go. You go this way as well. So we're very open to kind of sharing, okay, what do you want out of this? And I think one special thing too is we're very involved, where you have our cell phone number, so you can call, text, where a lot of these programs, you have to like do a ticket, or there's like a meeting once a week. They have to hop on and share your questions, and that's it.
You better track the ticket number too, because when they come back, what's the ticket number? And like, shit, I can't remember. I've been waiting a week.
And it's so backwards. Again, this is the people industry, whether it's lead generation, sales, your team, them. So people need help. You want to make a difference, just be there for them. Yeah, it's going to eat your time away, but freaking hire someone else and help out with it, train them up. But that makes such a difference in life when you just care for the person. You want to help them out. So if it's someone, hey, this isn't working, Rob, or I'm not getting the leads I want. All right, let's tweak it a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. And we're very involved in that process.
The do the right thing philosophy.
Right.
That's pretty much what it is. And all you have to do is anytime someone asks you something is like, hey, is it good for the client, which could be the consumer, the agent, like whoever your client is that you're serving, right? So you're serving agents in this regard. So is it good for the client? Is it good for the agent? Is it good for the industry? And ultimately, is it going to be good for the consumer that's actually going to probably receive their service? If those answers are yes, then even if it hits your pocketbook, just do the right thing, man.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to lie. Like there were times when, just being fully authentic as always, when I first got into the industry and, money was tight, I wasted so much of it to where like I wanted to force someone in this kind of, IUL option A or something, right? Because I knew I'd get a higher return. But that shit would always bite me in the ass. It'd cancel, it would revoke. And then I started doing the right thing, cutting my commissions, and like shit started to steamroll. So like like I said, someone up there is watching, whoever you want to believe in, God, the universe, God energy. We're souls at the end of the day. We're spiritual beings. We're meant to do the right thing and love others. And when you do that, even though you're taking a hit on yourself, like you just get blessed with that. Yep. So that's like the main theme I try to tell my agents too is, even though you can get this, does that help them out? If it doesn't help them, don't fucking do it.
Right.
This is a real family with real needs and a real life and a real future. And you've got a fiduciary responsibility to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people forget that too. Hey, bro, real quick. So parting words here as we come to close out
I have
here.
more questions.
Oh, well, he's got a hard stop. He's got to go freaking teach that class.
Okay.
What's for a struggling agent, right? Because I love your philosophies. I love how you run your organization. It's a very successful organization that is continuing to thrive and grow and scale in the right way, right? I think is important to point out. For somebody that's out there watching this, whether it's live or on the replay, that is struggling, whatever that might look like within this industry, what is some advice from Rob Bullerdick on how to get out of that rut, right?
Yeah, good question. So I will say I'm not big on saying you need to jump ship where you're at or anything, but have a leader that cares about you, because culture is the biggest thing. A lot of people get, again, I hate the word, recruited onto a team, and they just stay stuck there because it's easier sometimes, or they feel like they have to be there. There are people like Tony, like Joe, like me, who actually care about you and want you to thrive and are going to be there when you call. So the first thing is just find a culture that you feel protected and loved in. Like they're out there. And then number two is just like
take a little bit, but they're out. I promise you, they are.
Few and far between, but they're out there. Like you've got the syndicate, which is a great community here. Reach out to Joe, Tony. Like they know who those guys are, depending on what your niche is and what that industry is. So don't be afraid to ask questions. And because again, this is your life. You got your license for a reason. You want to be financially independent. You want to help people. So be in the best place to do that. And it's okay to leave. I've been to a bunch of different places till I, finally decided, hey, I need to be the difference myself and just start my own thing. And number two is just literally do. Like find your block schedule and stick to it. Like when I have something on my calendar, I don't give a shit what comes up, who wants to do something else. I'm not canceling on anything. I'm not going to stop doing like my 4 to 6 a.m. I'm doing my workouts and my yoga and my manifestations all day, every day. Nothing about it. I'm doing from my, 7 to 8 and doing my Facebook posts, no matter what. If I got a meeting with someone else, but someone else more important wants to do a meeting instead, next week, sorry, I've already got something planned. So, and with all that, like have your dial times with your leads, like a normal job. You know, if you're working a 9 to 5, you're not dilly-dallying around doing your own thing. You're behind a desk working. So find that time where you have to tell your family, hey, from this time to this time, I'm working. So like, don't bug me. Don't knock on the door. Don't call my cell phone. Like, I'm making us money. So like, it's setting boundaries for yourself and for your family, if you have it, to understand like, this is my job, right? And sticking to it, even though you have the flexibility to leave it. I think that's where a lot of agents get in trouble, is they have that flexibility, so they abuse it and use it. But you need to have a set schedule. If you don't have a set schedule, you're done. So that's my biggest advice is, you know, culture, find that team, have some kind of lead stream, whether you're out in the community knocking, you know, talking to businesses or calling leads or using a lead vendor. And then from there, just keep your consistent activity across the board from whatever times you're able to do it, and stay consistent and you'll win. The bubble will always pop, so to speak.
Yep.
Well
Love
said.
it, dude. Love it, bro.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for stopping by today.
Yeah, thanks for having me all.
Coming on. I know you got a hard stop. You got to go do your thing. I want to bring you back on and talk to you about lead generation and the FCC sometime and see what you think about their new regulation and all that stuff. But,
let's go.
We let you go coach up the college, right? And that where you're headed, the College of Gulf
FGCU.
Florida Gulf
Go
Coast.
Eagles fly. Yep.
Right on, man. Well, thank you again. Congrats on everything you got going on. We'll definitely circle back around because I have some more things I want to talk to you about. But other than that, ciao. And as always, man, thank you guys for tuning in. We're here every week. We're bringing them on just like Mr. Rob Bullerdick here. So stay consistent, do your thing. And Joe, I know you got something to close with.
Well, it's the peak of the week, bro. And I loved
I
loved what you said here. It was and it's through the recruiting thing, but really what you're doing is, man, you're helping your agents build an asset. But the reason that they're able to do that is because you're showing them this opportunity. You know, I think there's just such a lack in like, dude, get out there and show people what they can actually do within this industry. The stats are the stats for a reason, right? We produce the most millionaires out of any other industry. We just have the highest fail rate, and that's due to lack of leadership and culture, right? But that's also because we're not showing enough of the right people this opportunity as well. So y'all get out there and crush it. Go show somebody the opportunity this week. Just go knock on a door. It don't matter what it is. And when you're leading and doing the right things, it'll all fall in place. So I appreciate you, Rob. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Hope you all have an amazing rest of the day and the rest of the week. Get out there and win. See you guys.
There, guys.